Hello and welcome back to West Ham Network on a Wednesday evening in the UK, Thursday morning over there in Melbourne. No, not Melbourne. Fucking hell, Brisbane, Australia.
Jeez, I keep moving states every time you introduce me.
I know. You'll be in Victoria in about a week's time. You never know. How are you, bruv? You doing all right?
G'day. All good, Sean. Yeah, all right, mate. Beautiful morning.
Yeah.
Lovely morning. Yeah, good.
You're into the good weather period now, aren't you?
That's coming into winter. It's like a spring here. It's it's just lovely and cool at nights now. And yeah, it's lovely. And sort of storm season finishes then, so you don't get that much rain. Yeah, it's just a lovely time of year. A lovely time of year to visit if you come into Brisbane or Queensland, because it's not over hot. The humidity's not there. It's really good. Might have a confession to make though, geezer.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, I was a Villa fan yesterday morning.
All right.
I was watching Villa at PSG, geezer. I was fucking rooting for him, man. They gave it a cracking goal, man. Really did. Good luck to him. It was unlucky not to get to extra time.
I've got another confession to make then, because I was a Newcastle fan today. They played Palace, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would have been too. Yeah, I'm happy to see Newcastle do well.
Yeah. 5-0.
Was it?
5-0.
5-0. Oh my good God! I didn't know that was on. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, just watching. I just got up. Yeah. I watched the last half hour that Arsenal Real Madrid game. I weren't really watching it, but it was on. I went, oh yeah.
Say hello to some of the chatters. Rich, West Ham. Good evening, Rich.
Hey, Rich.
And Randy. Who else have we got in there before that? Oh, Usual was in earlier. Mark Pendleton. When I say earlier, Usual was in at like 3:15 this afternoon. They get on when they can, Rich. Evening, Budgie Cieran and all. Looking forward to Croc Watch. You might be a little disappointed, Mark, unfortunately, mate. And we have a new member, Rob. Thank you for joining us as a member of
Rob.
Stam Network. Really appreciated, mate. Thank you very much. To your question, Budgie and Cieran, no matter what, we stick by thick and thin, and it's just a shame that as felt the fans have been mentally drained with how this season pans out and the lack of enjoyment too. And I agree with that. We do. We are West Ham through and through, thick and thin. Win, lose or draw, that's the thing. But I mean, it has been.
It can be draining days. I mean, fuck me. We knew. You always know when you leave it up to people like Sullivan to pick. I thought the idea of Steiner was him bringing in a manager with a philosophy that he had with the players he's bringing in. The future looked bright there for a while with Steiner coming in, and then with Moyes leaving, all they had to do was pick the right manager, and you just knew, didn't you? And that's what I didn't. I weren't Moyes out before then last season, even though we were dog shit, because I didn't trust these fuckers mid-season to bring someone in. And then they bring Lopetegui and they go, all right, then I'm not sure, but, and then no, disaster. And then the season's stuffed as soon as he's given these fucking marching orders.
Yeah.
And then Potter, and I was like, a bit underwhelmed with Potter. And then what we've seen since Potter's come in, there's been little bits of improvement here and there, but it's been a bit of a struggle to watch too. And you think, oh God, what? Yeah, it is draining the whole season because it's over, and we will be finishing the worst of the rest.
Good evening to Happy. Good evening to Danny, and also Rich. Sorry, mate, no Croc, no Shark Watch.
Hey, Rich.
But he does say he's been watching clips of Crocodile Dundee, and it reminds him of you.
That's all right, Rich. Definitely not. I haven't got me mind.
So Happy's got a dreaded sickly feeling that we may see Rice lift the trophy this season. Yeah, they've got through, haven't they? 5-3, I think, or 5-2 on aggregate. They won 2-1.
They're through. Does that I don't know now. I keep changing the rules. Is that semi-final drawn out of a hat? Has it already decided the 4 teams who play each other?
I'm not
Anyone
sure.
tell me that? I'm sure someone will know that.
Yeah, let us know. Happy, you know shit like that. You tell us, babe. Maltese, good evening to you, mate. Been a while. Few weeks anyway.
Hey, Maltese.
But it's not as good as the first time. Yeah, absolutely. Evening, all. Hope everyone is well. Randy, everyone's saying hello to everyone. Danny and blah blahs and Randy. Happy. There is still PSG and Barcelona or Inter still to see where if Rice gets Arsenal over the line or not, but have to see, I guess. Yeah, and he was kind of. There was an incident during the game, Cieran, where Mbappe went down in the penalty area with Rice right up his chuff, right? And the referee blew a penalty and issued Rice a yellow card, right?
Right.
It went to VAR, 5 minutes and 31 seconds or something, 21 seconds before they come up with the answer. And during that time, they called the referee over to the screen at about 4 minutes 50. And then it took him another 40 seconds or so to have a look at what he was looking at. And he came back. He cancelled the penalty. He cancelled the yellow card. Declan Rice looked pretty relieved, I've got to be honest.
Well, it's a good tackle then.
Yeah. Well, no, he weren't tackling him. He was just marking him in the box. The ball comes across, and while the ball's in the air, Mbappe dived. Well,
right.
He tumbled. Yeah.
No,
like I said in the group chat, I've seen them being given and upheld. Rice was lucky that referee weren't.
It is. No, so we always accuse these referees having bias, especially when you're playing at Real Madrid, that they get that, or Old Trafford, they get the benefit of the doubt most of the time. But there's one occasion, obviously, that it didn't. She's good, very good. But usually in Europe, they do get to decisions pretty quick. That's one of the things that we've been saying about them for a little while now. They seem to be able to do it, and the Premier League can't. And that surprises me. That 5 minutes,
Yeah. Rich is saying there's a lot in, not many likes. Come on, people, you know the drill. Log in, like, watch.
You tell her, Rich.
Thank you very much, Rich. Excellent way of putting it as well, mate. Randy always does. Yeah. Phil, good evening to you, sir. So proud of Rice, confirming one of the best in the world over 2 legs.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the last half hour I watched there, Budge, just some of the interceptions Rice made, and it won't make the fucking highlights, it won't make news, but the same shit he was doing at West Ham that doesn't really get highlighted. He's just stopping play, he's putting a boot in there. I just see one bit there where his old mate Bellingham was through basically on goal just to take a shot, and he gets the boot in, clears the ball for a corner. Fucking class, mate. And actually gets a goal kick out of it, even though I don't think it was. But that's the shit that people don't see. Take notice of.
Happy, not so happy. She says, Rice makes me sick, to be honest. PSG best be on their A game. Oh, dear. Excuse me. Phil, hope you're well, mate. As far as Rice goes, just for us, yes, he was doing well against Real Madrid over 2 games, and he is doing well. Yeah. Rice pudding, that's what I like. Rice was never going to stay with us over his whole career. The performance over 2 leagues, there isn't a club in the world who wouldn't want him. That's absolutely true. We're going to... Rich says Arsenal won't win the Champions League. They couldn't even win the Championship.
Well, yeah, we'll see. That's how I don't particularly want Rice, Arsenal to win anything, but I do want to see Rice do well.
Yeah.
You know?
Usual. Good evening, sir. Who do they play in the semis? He wants to know. Mark saying PSG.
Oh, well, fucking Villa give it to them, mate. I tell you what, they had PSG rocking Villa when they went at them. I just really couldn't understand Great Britain. I really couldn't understand Emery. Right, he knows his team better than fucking I do, but actually, the substitutions he made, I couldn't understand it because McGinn was fantastic, and so was Rashford, and he took both of them off, and I just couldn't work that one out. Rashford was tearing them apart. He was dog shit in the first half, Rashford, right? Second, half an hour of that second half, he was tearing them to bits, man. I was surprised he took him off, man. There you go.
Our friend Aqua, he says, oi, oi, lads, it's lashing it down here in Portugal.
Where was it? Oh, well, never mind, mate. I can't say that here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful one day, perfect the next, wasn't it?
Yeah, still one, mate. That's Queensland Tourist Board fucking information.
There you go. There you go. Cookie Hammer, good evening to you, sir. Evening, gents, and all in the chat. Hope you're all good. Yes,
Cookie.
Lynn, good evening to you, my love.
Lynn.
Thank you for joining earlier this week. Yes, and Ryan, Fortune's hiding down under. Good morning, chat.
Hey, Ryan.
Good morning to you, sir. Everyone's saying hi. Yeah, and Mark Watson's in the house. Good evening to you, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
How good were our fans at Anfield? Hundreds of Liverpool fans commented on the respect for the 97. That is what the title of this show is all about. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. We're going to talk a little bit about the Liverpool game, obviously. But I wanted to have a little positive spin on it all because some of the comments that have come out on social media from Liverpool fans have been absolutely top draw. Let's just see who else is in the house. If there's anybody different in there that we haven't spoken to. Looks like everyone that's chatting. Mr. Bongo's in the house. Evening, proper Budgie, Cieran, and all you proper fans in it. Negative number is not included, of course.
In it.
In it, John.
Did he spell my name wrong? Fucking Bong. Jamesy. Fucking outrageous. He's an Irishman. And he spelled my name wrong.
I know.
He's getting set to the fucking naughty corner.
Yeah, mate, that's it. Daz is in the house. Good evening, Daz. Thank you for joining, bud. Most player of all time, most overrated player of all time, Mbappe. Mbappe.
Well,
I
don't know. I think he's a top player, Cookie. He's one of them. I think it's like Rice, right? You need to watch them every week in, week out to see exactly how great they are, as we did with Rice, and people couldn't see it because we saw the things that other people don't because they only watch highlights, and weren't in that many highlights. All the fucking times he intercepted the ball and broke up play and all that, you don't see it. And Mbappe, his pace is fucking frightening. But yeah, sometimes he's one of them players that drifts out of games and you don't hear much of him. Yeah, but like I said, you'd have to watch him week in, week out for me to have a proper opinion about him.
Yeah. Howard's in the house. Good evening, Howard. Thank you very much for joining, buddy. Stuart Burt's in the house. Howard says he loves a quiz. That was wank. Quiz or quiz, Howard. Oh, Happy says, evening, my bestie Budgie Booze and the amazing fuckface.
Lovely.
With heart. With heart.
I know it's said with love, but that's the main thing.
Yeah. Total respect for the 97 from West Ham lads were at the match. Class. Yep, we will get to that in a minute, Aqua. Kieran, your Champions League question. It's Arsenal, PSG, Inter, Barca. And then the final.
Oh, mate. So hard to pick, Randy, when you... Actually, you know what I mean? I think tough. I mean, PSG look one of the most dangerous sides in it, especially with scoring goals. But yeah, it's tough, man. I think Barcelona get through.
Yeah.
I think toss a coin with PSG and Arsenal.
Yeah, and on this comment here, Happy saying it was a good day out at Liverpool, albeit the result. Now, let's talk a little bit about the game. I mean, I thought that for the first 15, 20 minutes, we were kind of second best. But I felt that after that, we climbed into the game and we kind of dragged our way into it. And I thought at half-time, when we went in at half-time, 1-1, my first thought was, we're still in this. We could still get something out of this. And then we forced the own goal towards, the later part of the second half. But I thought we had the second half pegged. I thought we were pretty in control. Okay, they had the ball quite a lot, but I felt that we didn't look under too much threat. Now, whether that's Liverpool taking their foot off the gas or we were really good, I'm not really sure.
I think
good.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I just find it,
good, and they didn't look so good. You know?
The first half was really frustrating, but it's exactly what I said last week, what I expected. I didn't think he'd play Paul Krug. I thought that was the right decision in this. I thought he would do that. The Moisey sort of soak it up. I said we'd probably have 8 defenders, but we shouldn't have played Scholes. I said that last week. Don't play Scholes in this game. I mean, Salah could still rip the bits out of Emerson, but I'd rather Emerson getting done than Scholes. I thought you're throwing him into the fucking fire here.
Yeah.
And it proved to be. And Scholes' form in the last couple of games before this bunch hasn't been that great. He got taken off at half-time, was it, against Bournemouth? He got taken off against Wolves. So I think it was time to give him a rest and put Emerson in. And I was screaming at it, halfway through that second half, if you don't want Emerson, swap fucking Wan-Bissaka over there, who will do better against Salah, and bring on Southampton, which eventually he did.
What he did.
So it was frustrating for me the first half, watching Scholes getting ripped about 2 or 3 times. And they scored the goal from that. A cracking ball by Salah across the park to tap in. Yeah. But I did think Liverpool took the foot off the gas. I've noticed this in a few games at Liverpool lately. They get a lead and they sort of sit back in it a bit.
Yeah.
But luckily enough, they scored a goal for us, which was nice of them. And we got to 1-1. But do you see the gears that they went through, Liverpool, as soon as they conceded? Wow. And it took, 2 minutes?
3 minutes.
We did have chances. Kudus is unlucky, hit the bar. Paquetá had a really good top game. Thought Kudus tried his heart out. Trouble is with Kudus, we were so deep, all his good work was being done deep and not affecting the attack, Yeah. Fulkrug came on again. I think that was the right thing to do, but I think Fulkrug should have come on at least 15 minutes earlier. Yeah, when we were in the ascendancy, where they were sitting back, now we were attacking them. So it made sense to bring him on earlier. I don't know why he didn't.
Happy agrees with you as far as Scholes is concerned. She says he didn't have any support and struggled against Bournemouth the week before.
Exactly, I couldn't understand his inclusion in that. I mean, look, it could have worked out. He had a great game and everyone's praising him, but Jesus Christ, man, it's Salah.
Kieran is bang on, says Aqua. Putting Scholes up against Salah was ridiculous. The boy's got to learn his trade, Kieran, but they should have played Cressy behind him.
He does, but Jesus, this is the best fucking right winger in the country at the moment. This year, and a week that he got his new deal, he was up for it, he was buzzing. And even bringing Wan-Bissaka over in the second half, everyone, might fake that Wan-Bissaka, because Salah hardly touched the ball. He weren't getting the ball in the second half. Liverpool weren't that fucking on the front foot so much. So that helped. But Wan-Bissaka does give us more attacking impetus.
Yeah. And there's a good point in that, what Mark says. At least now Scholes isn't going to face anyone better.
No, it's not Mark. That's the geezer. But that
the
tells you where his level's at, though, because he's still learning, young lad. Like, he's not there. You know, Wan-Bissaka would have been a better option, I think. And I think Soufal done well when he came on as well. He didn't do anything wrong.
No,
he was good.
Yeah. Happy says, what we could have done with a striker on for more than 12 minutes.
Yeah, mate, I don't know why I didn't bring him on earlier, man. It didn't make sense to me. Because, like I said, they did take their foot off the gas. And we had chances. But there you go.
Potter's starting lineup did not help his cause with the doubters so far, but he needs to be positive from the off against Southampton and be on the front.
Yeah, that's a different game, yeah.
Completely. Akko says, Liverpool let us have the ball second half. It wasn't us up in the game. It was Liverpool taking their foot off the gas.
Yeah, it was. That's how I saw it, Aquam. I was watching them because I've seen them do it before and a couple of other games. I think they've done against, might have been Wolves they played, and they've done exactly the same. It's not that clinical Liverpool. But when you used to see, when Man City were winning the league titles, watch them, they'd go 1-0 up or 2-0 up. They'd put you to the sword. They wouldn't stop when they were winning titles. Yeah. And I've seen that with them limping over the line, Liverpool, and they'll get there. You know, and it won't matter. But they are limping over the line.
Yeah. Good evening, Trodge. He says Scholes now knows the level.
Yes, Trodge.
Exactly. You know, Scholes has got to learn his trade, but not against Salah. Come on, don't rip the confidence out of the kid. And I get that. I understand that.
That's the way I see it. I don't want the boy's confidence to be ruined. I really don't. Because even if you... but just that first 15 minutes of the second half, he was doing well again. But that's like I say, Salah weren't really getting the ball. And they weren't attacking as much. So he was looking all right for that first bit of the second half. But there you go. But like I say, they went on the front foot to get that goal and maybe nick a second then in the second from a breakaway because they're good at that. They're very good counter-attacking side, Liverpool. Yeah. I've seen them score so many goals from the other team's fucking corner.
Yeah. You know, as I said, I do agree with this, Aqua, that he's got to learn his trade. You know, don't rip the confidence out of the kid. And Trodge has said that, well, it could spur him on. You know,
it could.
Now that
to do that, it could.
And then Cookie comes up with this, and he says, when will Scholes get a free hit of experience of going up against the best player in the league? Well done to Potter for showing the faith, giving him the chance to learn. And I suppose
there's the other perspective. I'm only backing up what I said last week. I don't think this was a game for Scholes. And like I say, his form hasn't been great the last couple of games before it.
When you consider what Howard's saying there, is that all of these are nothing games at the moment because
they are true. They are.
You know, so stuff like that, you can kind of get it. Happy says, Howie, I agree. Nothing to play for this half of the season. However, there is our partial refund for season tickets. Then, given we are expected to still go and spend out to watch Distross.
Yeah.
Where is our partial refund?
Well, it is, because at the end of the day, people are travelling all over the country to watch this. You know, Jesus, give them something. Yeah. You know, give them something.
Yeah, Salah hardly saw the ball, but he hardly saw the ball because of Liverpool not putting it to him, not because of Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka really only actually had to go into a tackle to him a few times, very few. He would have learned so much from that experience, says Cookie. Absolutely.
Well, hopefully, Cookie. No, that's the positive way I look at it, Cookie. I'm just backing up my confirmation bias because I said last week I don't think you should play this game. You know, I think Emerson should get a run. No, but even that, then that question comes up now. Does Potter not like Emerson at all now? Does that mean he's out the door? Because rather than bringing Emerson on, he threw Wan-Bissaka over there and brought Soufal on. So Emerson must be sitting there going, what the fuck? That's my job, that left back bit, and I'm not getting a go. So that begs another question then. Is he out the door? I don't know.
AWB got the best goal scorer in the Premier League taken off. He is the GOAT.
Yeah, look at it that way.
Rio got beat up by Duncan Ferguson. He recovered. Don't beat everyone up though, Troy. True. He did. Even burglars. Yeah, do you remember that? Someone tried robbing his house and he fucking beat him up, didn't he? You know, turned him into a pretzel in his own front room. Great stuff. I think the concern is if just limp over the not positive against Southampton and the lineup is conservative, then Potter will be adding extra pressure on himself. So he needs to finish strong. Yeah, there is that, Randy. There is that. He says, Mark says Aaron Wan-Bissaka is as good on the left as on the right, but don't want to see him
I think he is, Mark. I think he is. I like him on the left.
I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is probably one of the best players that we've bought in a while.
Yeah, it's been a good signing.
Because of the way he applies himself, the positions that he can cover, and the fact that he wants to play for this team. You can see that he wants to play for this team. And you can't ask for more from a player.
No, it's good for a player, Budge, that's been sitting on the sidelines for so long at Man United, not really wanted. You know, whether that been through injury and just not getting in the team, to come and be a player again. And he's got a new lease of life, and I think he's shown it. Doing really well.
Yeah. Good evening, Ray. Bear with me 1 second.
They right. Well, anyway, it's fucking Liverpool. We never win there, anyways. I've never seen us win there.
We had a good chance of getting a draw there. We had a good chance of it. Should have protected him in that situation. Yep, he should have done. Everyone's saying hi to Ray. Right, so anyway, I agree, Budgie, but Liverpool didn't put the ball to Salah because of Wan-Bissaka marking him. Though again, Liverpool took their foot off the gas.
You could look at it that way, mate. They weren't on the front foot as much.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
No,
they weren't. That's why we got into the game.
Yeah. Right, so
but fair play to West Ham. They recognised the fact that Liverpool were sitting deeper and not really pushing, loads of bodies forward and breaking with lots of men. And we took advantage of that and started pushing them back and pushing at them and actually seeing that. So we done well in that respect. But yeah, fair play to between Van Dijk and then Robertson, cracking goal.
Yeah.
Fucking 14 minutes, one of them ridiculous headers again. They hit the bar. They had no right to fucking get that anywhere near the target.
Yeah.
I want that changed next year, Budge.
What's that?
Hitting the bar should be classed as a shot on target. I don't care. Hitting the post and the bar.
I agree. Hitting any of the woodwork should be.
Yeah, it should be the target. It is. Fuck it.
It should be. Ak was saying hashtag Potter out. I really don't want to see Potter get in the transfer window. We are going to lose quality players, and Potter couldn't get a tune out of them. Are things going to improve with new players?
Well, that won't be happening. The thing is, I said he's going to be here to at least next Christmas, and then you can judge him then. When he has that first half of this next season, and he will. Probably get the whole season. But if we're terrible up to Christmas, you'd probably see a change. If he's not, you won't.
Yeah. Evening, Neil. He says, evening, gave up watching the games after the...
Neil!
Whatever that was. Yeah. Howard says,
I have to suffer watching them, whether I like it or not. Get West Ham.
Yeah. Mark says, and you gave up finishing your sentence, Neil. And Trod, Potter out after 13 games. What a tough crowd. Absolutely. I'm not calling for him. No way. Happy says she's disappointed big time. There are so many matches we should have got something out of this season. The lineups are uninspiring to say the least, and we are a 45-minute side. And then she goes on to say, imagine if we sell Kudus, Paqueta and Alvarez this summer. That is going to be a massive blow in one window. Yeah, that's 100 million quid to replace. You know, all of them. Not much fun watching at the moment, but keep the faith, says Rich. Reckon Potter will get the tin back well before Christmas. Tin tack well before Christmas.
Possibly, Akbar. Well, like I said, results will determine. I don't think results this year determine anything. He's going to be here. So that when he starts the next season, up until Christmas, that's when he'll be judged. And it could be judged well before that if he doesn't start performing and putting points on the board and putting performances in. That's am I confident he will? No. But that's what it's going to be.
So here are the current odds for the game this weekend. West Ham 1-2, so you put £2 on to win one. Southampton 11-2, so that's 5.5 to 1. That's pretty good odds for them. And the draw is 100-30, so basically 3 to 1. Yeah. That's almost 3.
No, we'll beat them, mate. We'll smash them. Usual, we'll smash it. Full Krug will be starting. I've no doubt about that. He'll start him in this game.
Oh, Aqua would rather watch a Lopetegui scene than a Potter team. Mate,
fucking hell, Aqua.
Very few, Aqua. Very few. Not many to learning about, more to rule out. Understand striker, I'm frustrated by that, but if we ain't fit enough or trying to look after the very few selling assets we do have. Yeah. I wanted to keep down, so what do I know, says Trudge. I still have the belief that Potter may be able to turn this around in the summer, says Happy. I think the last few years have been so dire that it's hard to get inspired. And that is, you know, I mean, you've also got to remember that, you know, he's kind of trying to crank over a really old engine at the moment. And you know, he's got nothing there that he's other than Ferguson. He's got nobody in that squad that he's ever worked with before or ever he didn't sign them or anything. So, you know, he's got to completely, you know, rework everything with them guys, you know, everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't expect much more, to be honest. But the trouble is, when you've been through the last 2 Premier League seasons, what we had with Moyes, which were dire, I think, and we had the cup run and the win. But the 2 Premier League seasons were poor, and this is even worse. You go, oh my God. It gets a bit boring and a bit tough for season ticket holders too, to be watching that week in, week out. It's no fun. You know what I mean? You do go there to enjoy a game. Mm-hmm. And it's hard.
Trudge, I've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks that Potter would love for now.
Yeah.
He is kind of like, do you know what I mean? He's kind of like Potter's captain material in my head. He's the sort of player that Potter, if he came into a team and there was no assigned captain in that team and Fornals is in it, Fornals will get the armband, I reckon, from Potter. For me, I think that's just the way he's that kind of player.
Back now, it's done and dusted, unfortunately.
Yeah. Potter at Brighton, 9th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Nah, he's not a manager we need. I get it, mate. I get it.
Look, the way I'll tell you why Potter got a lot of praise, right, at Brighton as well, is I think he took over from Chris Hughton, my mate. I went to school with him. Like mention that again. But Chris's football was fucking dreadful, geezer. It really was low block shit and boring as fuck, crap. And he just helped them survive, but it was terrible to watch. And he was a lot better. And then he got a lot of praise for that with the same team, if you like. Yeah. Now he's walked in with West Ham with not his team, and everyone's overtaken us from Everton to Wolves, fucking Palace. We've dropped about 4 places, which is probably going to cost West Ham about 10 million. If you get a couple of million each place that you go up. So, it doesn't look great.
Yeah, that's true, actually, Cookie. Sometimes you need to go backwards to go forward.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the case.
Yeah. Happy was saying just a minute ago that we should be coming away with a 3-0 win. A squeaky bum 1-0 win or worse is not acceptable against Southampton. And that's true, absolutely.
Yeah, we've got to go and beat them. Simple as that. You have to. Simple as that. You've got to go and beat them.
Angel Gomez turned us down. Bring back Tim to deal the deal. To be fair, we have not conceded more than 2 under Potter. That is a massive improvement, true.
That's what he has improved. Yeah.
Yeah. One step forward, 2 steps back. That's certainly Sullivan. Yeah. Right. So let's talk a little bit then about some of the media stuff that's been going on since the Liverpool game. And the fact is that there's been many reports from many people about the Liverpool fans paying their respects to West Ham fans for honouring the minute's silence for the 97 at Hillsborough. And, they were saying that it was impeccable. And, the title of the show, West Ham are a proper club with proper fans, is a direct quote from one of the top Liverpool, not YouTubers, media mogul things.
Yeah.
And, the fact is that even some of the family members of the 97 took to social media to thank West Ham for their conduct during that game and during that time, that moment of silence.
That means a lot. It was because I got up for that game, right? Put it on in the morning, and I just clicked on as that minute silence started, right? I weren't sure what the minute silence was for because I'd missed the introduction to it. And it was a pin drop moment, Gator. It really was. It was so silent, really, really good. And I thought myself, well done, boys. Well done. That shows real respect. And it was nice. You don't often hear that anymore in a complete silence, but it was. Yeah. Fantastic.
I mean, one of the family members, I believe it was one of the family members, said that the silence was observed so impeccably that you could literally hear a pin drop around Anfield. Now, Happy, you were there. Happy, you were there. So you tell us how you felt, please. How you felt that silence went, because I know that West Ham fans are honourable when it comes to that, especially the away fans. Because 99% of the away fans are long-term staunch West Ham fans or families, and and I know that they know what it means to be, respectful in them sort of circumstances.
Well, look, I'll tell you that. Do you know the last time I heard something like, and I was at the game, right, was when I was back in England when Bobby Moore passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the next game after Bobby Moore passed away. And I wish I could remember. Maybe someone here can tell me. It could have been Everton. I'm not sure. But it was the minute silence for Bobby Moore before that game.
Yeah.
And they were the same. It was pin drop stuff, mate. They're not a sound. And it was eerie that it brings tears to your eyes, Geezer, because it was so in a massive, in a stadium where everyone's up for it until that comes on. And then bang, dead silence. It's very eerie, but just total respect from the other supporters. I wish I could remember who they were, but that was a very similar thing. Very similar. Yeah, and it does. And if you are one of them relatives, at Liverpool, it would have meant a lot. It would. Yeah. Can you imagine how bad it would have been if it weren't that? It would have been disgusting. It would have been disgraceful, and it would have upset. It would have upset them family members. So for them to say what they've said, it just shows you it would have affected them, and they would have loved it. The respect. So it's nice. Yeah, really nice.
Good evening, Morel. It's just the only game we've scored more than 3 goals was when we beat Ipswich at home.
Yeah. Good team, Ipswich. Good team.
Yeah.
Game on.
The Hammers were so respectful, did us proud, to be honest. And, you were part of that. So, doff your hat to yourself as well, sweetheart, because, I think that, the thing is that Liverpool have always had a lot of respect for us ever since that 2006 FA Cup final. You hear many stories from West Ham fans and Liverpool fans alike that after the game, they were walking down, the streets and going to the pubs together. They were drinking together after the game, full of respect, no trouble whatsoever. And, like the Liverpool fans were kind of consoling the West Ham fans, saying, to be fair, it was only Gerrard that made the difference.
Yeah, which it was.
Yeah.
We had one hand on that trophy, guys. We had one hand on it, and fucking Gerrard took it off, ripped it off.
The Wolves game after Bobby Moore's.
Maltese, was it Wolves? It could have been, guys. Yeah, my memory for that, but it was. They were good.
Fulham, and the Fulham game perhaps as well. Okay. It probably would definitely would have happened at the Fulham game because he played for them, didn't he, after he left us? So, that definitely would have been observed then. I'm here on for half term. Lots of Heavy Trance, Sasha and Digweed, Northern Exposure, Volume 1. Best album ever. Half term. Oh, what are you chipping away at, Howard? What are you chipping away at? Oh, let's talk in music again. As usual. All he could hear during the minute's silence was his car window being smashed, his stereo getting nicked, and along with the hubcaps. Yeah. So, does anyone expect us to finish anywhere above 17th?
Not really, Neil. No, not really.
I don't know. I think we can get into Europa.
No, I think the team just above us are playing a lot better than us, and they look better than us at the moment.
Yeah,
that's Wolves, Everton. What about Palace tonight? They got their asses tickled, but they've all looked a bit better than us.
Haven't we? Have we got a second game to play against City yet as well?
I don't know what the running is, guys. I sort of not so much interest in it.
And don't forget the rustling of the shell suits. Oh, brilliant. Sign on. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I didn't hear anyone saying calm down. Calm down.
Oh, look, Howard never bought a drink the day after that Liverpool loss. And his boy was born the very next day. Mad weekend for him. Happy saying she was refused beer in the pub because you were singing Liverpool's a shithole, let me go home, or whatever the words are.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
She was singing that in the pub, and that's why she got refused. When it comes to next season, what are your expectations of Potter, Budgie, Cieran, after the window ends? Well, I don't think Budgie and Cieran are going to have much say in the team, so I don't think we can judge them. But Potter, my expectation is for him to keep improving, start getting results against the teams that we should be getting results against, and giving a game to the teams that we rarely get results against. I mean, let's be fair.
I think it's a very hard question to answer
David
until
Moyes gave us a long-awaited.
You've got to see what comes in, what goes out, don't you? It's very hard to judge it until you see that. I don't know what sort of side we're going to be looking at come next year or next season. It's going to be hard. I don't know. Who leaves? Who comes in? You know, it's a different kettle of fish. But I'd like to think he'd be in the top 10, challenging for that top 8. But I can't answer that until I see that fucking squad we're left with.
Yeah.
Once the window's done.
Howard's saying, Budgie, I have mostly been working on a cocooned, winged female form, laying on her front. The arse is modelled on my last girlfriend.
Nice. Big arse, Howard, or little arse?
How does the wife feel about that, or does she not know about it?
It costs more if she's got a big arse to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
More material.
You got to pick a small arse, otherwise it's a lot more stone. Oh, Neil, that's wrong.
Yeah. The geezer leaned over. He leaned over the bar and said, "Oi, you ain't getting another drink."
That Cookie says, if someone grabs Mavropanos' bollocks, we've got a chance of Eurovision. Oh, in Portland Stone. Nice.
Portland Stone.
Of
course.
Yeah, usual. Big finish, starting with a Southampton win and getting a top 4 spot, I believe, he says.
Yeah. Top 4 at the bottom.
Aquam says, come back, Moisey, all is forgiven. No, forget that. We got Moisey, love child.
Yeah.
I'd have Alan Irvine back. Me and all, mate. Him and Mark Noble, please, if you don't mind. Morel says, this summer potentially could make or break us for next season. So much work needed. Agreed, mate.
Absolutely, Rich. It's a lot to do. Like my old quote is always, I'll move over and get out that sun geezer. Yeah, they live and die by their recruitment managers, don't they? Yeah, they get it right, fantastic. If they don't get it right, and I'd say under Moyes, it was about 50-50 of getting things right with the recruitment.
Yeah.
And that's probably not good. It isn't good enough. You need to be up there with the 80% marks of getting your recruitment right. And I think last summer we got a bit wrong too. There's a few players there. Now, his first acquirement, which as Ferguson doesn't seem to be working well, so he's one down already. But he's not even getting on the pitch. So hopefully it gets better. Now he's got his mate, is it Macaulay, with him. Maybe he can. My worry then is, can that wanker up, in the boardroom, Sullivan, or that tart Brady, get it over the line? I'd have no confidence in them getting the players they want. But that's to be seen, isn't it?
Yeah. And, like you say, they live and die by their recruitment. And, clearly Lopetegui didn't get a chance to live or die by it. He was killed off.
Yeah, we don't know whether, that seemed to be, everyone had a go at that fucking recruitment, didn't they? Steiner had his say, Lopetegui had his say, fucking Sullivan had his say. My God, what the fuck's all that about? Let's all buy a couple of players each and front again and see what happens. It's a weird setup.
Howard saying, little ass Cieran, she was a lithe, wild, beautiful redhead. I knew from my late 20s. She came knocking, we had a wild 10 months together. Nice.
Brilliant. Good redhead, mate. I don't mind that.
She came and knocked on your door and you had 10 months with her. Love that.
Yeah. I only do little asses myself. Even though that sounds wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah. Completely, yeah. Mate, it ain't about the arse, it's about the heart that's connected to it. That's for me. Do you think Potter has a clause in his contract for table position, finish or better, given that Sully only wanted to give him a 6-month deal to start with? Maybe. But I think I think this season it would have been keep us in the Premier League, and then next season we want we want 10th or better, something. Maybe.
Well, he'll probably look back at Moyes. We've done that with Moyes and then pissed him off for Pellegrini. So he went, no, I'm not doing that. So you can understand why Potter wanted longer. But, yeah, by all accounts, Sullivan didn't really want him. It was Brady that fucking pushed him. So, but at the moment, he's not impressing us. We'll see later.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
Are we hopeful with the Macaulay appointment?
Yeah.
I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful with any appointment.
Look, I can't tell you I know much about this geezer, but I'm always happy when a manager gets the geezers he wants around him, because that can make a big difference. And I think when Moyes turned up that time, he had all them people around him, and we were that first season. I thought we were great, counter-attacking side. Tonio was on fire, but we were good. We were good at that counter-attacking football. And then players around them, that coaching staff around him, but they all seem to disappear at certain stages, didn't they? They all seem to leave.
And do you know what? Our counter-attacking prowess, right, really, really changed after we got rid of Fornals and Lanzini, in my opinion. Them two players. I know Lanzini weren't playing as often as I would have liked, but you know, I think that our counter-attacking was much better with them two guys in the squad. Much better. And we had
Rice as well. And we have. There's a massive difference, Rice, to our team, mate, every week.
Akram says, all right, Cieran, don't rub it in. Oh, I just got to move out of the sun. Leave it out, fella.
Mate, it's not often pissing it down in Portugal, Akram, is it? You know what I mean? You do a lot of that yourself.
We've pinched him off Chelsea, so you'd expect him to be half decent. Potter was handicapped before he starts. We have Cupid's stunt doing the transfer negotiations.
Exactly. It's fucking crazy what's going on with transfer business. I just don't understand it.
Bonnie Langford.
Yeah, she was a little small-ass redhead, wasn't she?
Little ginge, yeah. My daughter's a little ginge.
I know, man.
How we start next season, how it plays out. Yeah, absolutely. Was it a case of the rustier the roof, the wetter the cellar, Howard?
That's just fucking dawned on me what he meant by that.
Yeah, exactly that, mate.
Oh, Brendan.
Hopefully you can identify the players you can be excited about. But ultimately, Sullivan will be doing the deals and needs to deliver, mate. Yeah. Cookie, the bullshit is already flying with regards to players. It's going to be an interesting summer. But I'm afraid it will be the same crap as last 10 years with that dwarf in charge.
Yeah, that's the worry, Cookie.
Give these gems a like, please, chat. Thank you, Happy. Gems.
Do you know, I equate us a bit to...
under a lot of sand.
To Newcastle, right? You know what I mean? I see how much the Newcastle fans were suffering. Who's the fucking donut who owned them before? Sports Direct wanker.
Oh, that's Mike Ashley.
Huh?
Mike Ashley.
Yeah, that wanker. And the Newcastle fans were pulling their ears out for years under that prick. Yeah. Years, and they all wanted him out and just, oh, please get rid of this fucking loony. The donut managers he were bringing in, it was fucking so bad. And all of a sudden, they get bought out. For them, they did. Saudis come in, and then they bring in Howe, and our whole world changed overnight, didn't it? Absolutely. And he's now Eddie Howe. And good, I hope he's all right, guys. I like the man. Poor fuckers in hospital with pneumonia, of all things. But it all changed once you got rid of the donut up front. And lucky enough, that they seem to have owners that give a shit. And they've got the money, of course. They've got the money to give a shit.
Yeah, of course.
But he didn't go out and buy fucking. They didn't bring in Mourinho or whatever. They brought in Eddie Howe, mate. You know, small steps to get to where you want, and he's done great with them. And they're enjoying their football, man. They're enjoying.
Yeah, they're loving it.
And they're good, man. They're good to watch. Really entertaining. I think Newcastle to watch. Really good side. So that's what we need. I think it won't change until that change has happened. And I just don't know when that's ever going to happen.
Rich says, I had a redhead once. No hair, just a redhead. Boom, boom. Yeah,
boom, boom.
She had hair all the way down her back. None on her head, just down her back. Yeah, we know them all. Yeah. We know them all.
Swanvester?
Yeah. Absolutely, Togs. What a 10-month life in the old dog still. Yeah, good, mate. Nice. What did Togs say? Oh, yeah. The rustier the roof, the wetter the cellar. That was the comment he was answering. True, we might be able to scout them, but we lack Tim to fly them back in the jet now. True.
Yeah, exactly, Trodge. Who the fuck's closing that deal? Who's getting it done? Oh, God.
Oi, old man's in the house.
No, man.
It's been pissing down in Portugal all year, apparently.
That's it. Fucking hell. There you go.
I've never been with a redhead that I haven't had to wear wellies with, he says.
All right, it's like that, is it?
Fucking hell. Ultimately, Trudge Steiden got deals over the line, and now Sullivan is the main negotiator. So it has to get the players over the line. And not having the director of football, for me, is still a mistake. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone says Mike Ashley. We've suffered longer. Said Mark.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably have, geezer. Probably have.
Oh, Rich. Oh man.
Yeah, probably
have. He says,
that's why I question Newcastle or West Ham, because it's been like that. That's they've been suffering under fucking Ashley. We were suffering under this prick Sullivan, especially when he took us out of Upton Park. You know, fuck me. Yeah. And now they've got an ownership that backs them, and they back the manager. And it's like, look, if these PSR rules weren't in place, Newcastle would be challenging for the fucking top. I've no doubt about that.
Yeah,
none.
Yeah.
And they just can't.
Two of his grandchildren are ginger, but worse, he has to confess that they're Spurs fans.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Rich. That's fucking horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah. Old man says
when you think you've got it bad, Rich comes in with that.
Yeah, old man says he's just heard that the Irish space programme has announced that they're going to go to the sun. When asked about the intensity, they said it's all right, we're going at night.
Oh, what a very old, horrible joke.
Aquam says he's got to go have a good night, Kieran. You can stick your son.
No worries, Aquam. Don't worry. My son's going to be here for months.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Don't forget, give us a like before you leave. And I know you've probably already done it, so thank you, buddy. We are long overdue a change of owners, but sadly, as it stands, I can't see anyone interested or Sullivan giving it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you don't own your stadium or that buying us out isn't such a good deal, is it? What you actually fucking getting?
Yeah, no, you ain't got to leave, Rich. Don't worry, mate. It's not your fault. We can't blame you for your grandchildren. It's obviously their parents. What's your son support or your daughter?
No, Rich, don't go anywhere, mate.
Morel, eventually there will be ownership change one way or the other, mate, says Randy, but you have to hope. I believe we will be having new owners. I'm convinced. I suffer, Budgie, but the other two are out. Night Aqua. Right, well, look, we got 201 people in. Let's hope that at least half of you have given us a like on the old...
Fucking doubt it. It never gets to 100. What's the matter with them? Weirdo.
I know. Do you know what? Sometimes we get over 700 views and like less than 100 likes. Ridiculous.
Yeah, wankers.
You know, we're regularly getting 700 views. So what are they doing? Queuing that? They're going, yeah. That's it. And they don't bother giving us a like. Fuck them.
It's a bit like Potter. He's not getting that many likes either.
No, not. No. It's down to the son-in-law. Right, okay, mate. Well, you should have had a little bit more, of a word in your daughter's ear. Something.
Yeah, should be marrying a ginger. So
Yeah, at least Ashley didn't sell their stadium. That's true. He didn't.
Yeah, exactly, Martin. That.
But
I think there would have been a fucking uprising in Newcastle if he'd thought about that.
But, and he says, Neil says he doesn't think that Ashley charged the club interest on the loans that he made.
No, he done some good things, Neil, to be fair. He left them in a good financial state all the time he was there, and he didn't charge them the interest. He done some good things like that. Yeah. But I'm just talking the fans, the lack of ambition with him, and they were just, especially I think some of the managers he brought in. I think he brought in Steve Bruce at one stage, didn't he?
Yeah, that didn't work. Mark says being called a wanker is worth a like. Rich says, come on, I've admitted that. Surely that's worth likes. Yeah. Thumbless wankers.
Hey, what other channel that calls you a wanker in the chat? None.
Thumbless wankers. Brilliant. Anything you want to talk about, mate? Because we still got some time,
What are we talking about, Gazer? What's a couple of things?
Obviously, we've got Southampton coming up at the weekend. So let's have a few score predictions in the chat. Hold on. Bear with me for 1 second. I just need to quickly do something here. And forward. There we go. When was that? Oh, it's only 5 minutes ago. That's right. Okay, cool. Right, so where are we? Usual says Mama would beg to differ about him.
What's she?
About who? Oh, Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley, about he done some good things. Yeah, that's probably, Mark wants to know, shark deaths? No, mate. No shark deaths that we know of.
No, mate, they've gone quiet. I think they've all fucking hibernated. Nothing's happening, Gazer.
Oh, they've all fucked off to South Africa for a holiday. That's what they've done. They've had their slap up meals.
They've migrated.
They've fucked off to South Africa. Steve Bruce, Karen Brady's favourite Brummie manager.
I could give you my story about when I nearly got attacked by one.
Yeah, we'll do that. Hang on, let me just get to the bottom of this. Evening all, bit late, says Steve Palmer. Not at all, mate. Don't worry about that.
Steve.
Line up to be for Southampton, Budgie and Cieran. We'll get to that in a moment. Phil says 2-0 at the weekend. Kudus needs a goal. Paqueta and the BFG 3-0. Who's BFG? Oh,
yeah, that's a good idea, Cookie.
Big fat German. How many want a striker to start? Vote by pressing the like button.
I know we'll get 100% there.
What about the English tourists who drowned?
Jeez, I haven't seen it yet. Was there one that drowned this week?
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do then, right? We'll talk about your episode with the... I have to have an excuse to play that. I love it.
Yeah, we can't have an excuse for it, guys. Oh, nearly attacked by an alligator. Guys, I was nearly attacked by an alligator. It's true, mate. I could be stretching the truth a bit there, nearly attacked by an alligator, but I was working in Brussels, guys. and my lady and her sister were in London. So we decided to meet up in Paris, right? And that's why I hate PSG. We started meeting, so I flew out from Brussels to Paris. They flew from London, right? And they were at the hotel, and they told me where it was. So I got, it was in Montmartre, right? And I'm walking, just coming up to the Moulin Rouge, you know, in my own thing. And next thing, this big black fucking security guard fucking grabbed me by the shoulders. What the fuck? I thought I was being mugged on the fucking street. But there was a van outside the Moulin Rouge, right? And they were fucking carrying in alligators into the Moulin Rouge. Now, I could have slipped. I could have bumped into the alligator and then he could have fucking bit me. That's my story. Stretching it, but mate, he saved me. He actually saved me from bumping into the alligator. And what it was, Janet Jackson, apparently, it's a long time ago, Janet Jackson was playing in the Moulin Rouge. And that was part of her stage act. She had these alligators on the fucking stage for some reason. And there you go. That's the nearest I got.
No, what would you rather face, a croc or a gator?
Oh no, don't want a croc, geezer. Steve, you don't. The gators aren't nowhere near as aggressive as the fucking crocs.
No, they're not.
Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. No. Yeah. Gators are fucking doddle, as they say. Gators are a doddle compared to crocs.
So Steve's saying, Randy, I would like to see that lineup, and this is the one. Areola, Tadibo, Kilman, Emerson, Alvarez, Paqueta, Soler, Kudus, Bowen, and Fulkrug. He forgot to put AWB in there as well, he says.
Well, he's got Bowen and Fulkrug. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, sorry. Right from the start, no excuses against Southampton, it must be. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that.
That's about it.
Yeah, I think so. And hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's only 10 there, Randy. So yeah, AWB as well. Yeah.
I'd like to see Paul Krug start. But you know, like I say, I think it was the right thing not to start him against Liverpool. But I would have brought him on a lot earlier. That's all.
Howard says he was in the Moulin Rouge the night of the 1999 World Cup final. There weren't.
Oh yeah, was you?
Yeah. Was there a 99 World Cup final? I thought it was on an even year.
No, it couldn't be. Can't be 99, can it? It has to be 98.
98, definitely. Howard,
isn't it?
It must have been 98, mate. Must have been.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. What was you doing in there? Who are you watching in there? Oh, you're watching the Can Girls.
Yeah, probably. Love that. Cookie nearly got attacked by an alligator. I live in Colchester, and they flew one in thanks to their fucking close to there. Snappy answer. Rugby, Howard. 1998. There you go. France-Brazil final. Oh yeah, the infamous headbutt from Zizou.
Right.
In Japan. Yeah.
Shit.
The infamous headbutt. Were you watching West Ham win the Intertoto in '99? Says Howard. I said Mark. No, it definitely was. It has to be, mate. Potter picks it, and we will be happy. If he picks a conservative 11, then we'll be adding unwanted pressure on himself. That's true, mate. He will.
Yeah.
Medical team don't want Fulkrug playing more than 45 minutes. Plan to send him back to that injury rehab in Qatar in the summer.
Well, there's got to be. Usually, there's reasons when you don't play a player that's making us better every time he comes on, and it has to be a fitness reason. And a worry, but still, surely, if you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to play 45 fucking minutes, whether it be the first half or the second half. And he doesn't seem to think he is. I just find it strange that he can't be that fragile not to be able to play 45 minutes. So, and I can forgive him not bringing him on against Liverpool at half time, but as soon as you saw the first 5-10 minutes how Liverpool sort of sat deeper, and we were more on the ascendancy, it was time to bring him on. Fucking hell.
Right, what else we got? Right. Don't want to see 8 defenders against Southampton. No, we don't.
Of course not, Mark. It'd be crazy. I mean, Jesus Christ. If one game a season, if you look at the worst team in the league, 10 points after this, if you can't be attacking against them, then it's something wrong. And I think we will be. And I have no doubt we will be. But he has to. And I think he knows that. Jesus Christ, he's a manager. You've got to get at him.
Got to, mate. Got to get at him. And, you know, it's got to be a convincing win as well. You know, it can't be, as Happy said earlier, it can't be a squeaky bum one.
Mate, well, yes and no. If we're attacking the shit out of them, their keeper pulls off 5-6 saves, we fucking hit the bar and a post a couple of times, we score a couple of goals. To me, that's convincing. It's not necessarily about, scoring 5 goals. You can have a convincing 2-0 win. And I mean, that's what we need, a convincing 2-0 win. They're never in the game. They're never in the game. We've got them. We're all over. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because that's about the only chance this season you're going to get there. So you've got to take it.
And, you know, I mean, when you think about it, you know, it's quite a shock that Southampton are so damn poor when you consider the type of players they've had in the past. You know, that have really
in the past, mate.
Mane, you know,
mate, the players that have been in and out, you know, get bought up by the big clubs is unbelievable. Their academy as well have been fantastic. But eventually, when you keep selling all your assets, you know, you run out of assets, and that's where they are. They haven't got any left.
Phil wants to know, since when do West Ham do anything convincing?
What's that?
Right. When do
convincing?
West Ham do anything?
It's been a while, Phil. It's been a while. They don't do convincing.
Neil says it should be a 1-1 or a 1-0 against, or a 0-0. Oh no,
yeah.
A 1-1
that won't inspire fucking season ticket sales, will it?
No.
A bit more than that.
Saved 2 penalties at the weekend, apparently.
Yeah.
And then Brendan goes on to say that I won't accept the Southampton manager will pull off saves because it's Ramsdale, isn't it? I don't like him. I'm just not convinced by him. I think he's too impetuous. I do think if he picks up the right 11 from the off, then we'll get a massive lift from the start, hopefully. But Potter has to get the selection right. He does, Randy.
He does. That's down to win.
Yeah.
That's what he's paid for.
Yeah. Good evening, me last. Running late, I'm going for a 3-0 this weekend. Great.
Me last.
We have smashed Southampton, says Rich. Hope you're well. And 1-0 or 1-1 is not good enough, says Rich.
No, it's not.
I agree. It's not. And, you know, I mean, the thing is that it's about the selection, and it is about the application of the players that he does select. You know, I mean, it's all very well selecting, say, Paquetá, Kudus, you know, and they don't turn up. What if they don't turn up? You know.
Yeah.
There's always.
Then you look at the players, but I mean, for West Ham fans, you don't want to go every game, which we seem to be lately, seeing the lineup an hour before the game and going, oh shit, you know, you're down already. What you want to do is see the lineup that goes, yeah, that makes sense, and that is attacking, and then it's down to the players to perform. All right, it's just, you know, you can't blame the manager after that if he picks the right team, but I don't think he has been, and that's what a lot of West Ham fans are moaning about, because we've been too passive and not attacking enough. Now, he's going to come back and say, oh, well, Fuku's not fit. Simple as that. That's why he's not starting. But what about Ferguson? Jesus Christ, you brought him in because you wanted him, and you're not playing him. You're not even giving him minutes. So I think he will be far more attacking this week. I think he has to. And like I say, then it's down to the players. We want Paquetá to play like he did against Liverpool because he had a good game. Apart from that City, he fell over and when they got the corner and scored.
Oh yeah,
but
like
he was winning loads of free kicks before that, doing exactly the same. You know, he was waiting for that hit behind him and then down. I know a lot of people will knock him for that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That one, I don't think was hardly any contact for him to drop his legs. That's my criticism of him. Not mind him doing that to win free kicks. I'll tell you who was a master at it. I don't know if anyone really noticed at the time. But the master at waiting for that contact behind going down and getting free kicks was Mark Noble. Oh, Mark Noble was fucking brilliant at it, mate. He'd done it every game. And people did, but he was so smart at it, it always looked like a foul, whether it was or not. Just a bit of contact, he'd drop his legs, get the free kick. He was so good at it. Me and my boy used to watch it every week and laugh every time he done it because it always works. Very clever.
Yeah. Quickly, I just want to go back to this one. Neil says he's struggling to remember the last time he saw a Hammers team set up to win a game rather than just not to lose. Bloody good shout. That is a good shout. It's a long time. It works both ways. If Potter does get the lineup right and the intent is right, then we'll be buzzing. And if the players don't turn up, then players' fault. But if the players try, then happy days. Yeah, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's rare that a West Ham team will turn up and there's players missing, even if they're on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's rare for a player to go missing, you know, to go completely anonymous. Rare.
Yeah. I think when we went through a real bad period there with Moyes, it was a lot of it, even though, you know, Moyes was so pragmatic, but sometimes we had 4 or 5 players that were so below par in the same game. It's fucking hard to win. You know what I mean? That I can't put down to the manager. I can put it down to them not performing. But I think the effort rates under Potter have been higher for all players. I haven't seen people just giving up and not trying. I've seen a lot of effort from players in the team, so that's been a positive. It's just his team selections put people offside before the fucking game starts.
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's the worst thing about the current situation at the club, you know, because, you know, although we have got players, we're not seeing them. You know, the likes of Guilherme and, you know, okay, I know Somerville's out for the rest of the season by the look of it.
Yeah, it's been a shame. That.
Yeah, and, you know, and Fulkrug is not fit for more than 45 and, you know.
It didn't help. It didn't help Potter with the injury. Yeah, we've got to look at it both ways. You can't just keep slagging Potter off. There have been, you know, mitigating circumstances, but then when he has, you know, certain players available, he doesn't play it. Alvarez now seems to be losing out, and Souček's losing out. But certain games, I think that's right not to play Souček. But there's certain games, like even the Southampton game, could be a good game for Souček if you.
I think it would be it'd be the perfect game.
It might suit him. I don't know whether it's the right thing to do to bring him in, but like Soler, yeah, I'd like to see him in there too because I think there's more to come from that boy. Do I think we'll have him next year though? Probably not. Yeah. We're not going to have him, so he might be looking. You know, one eye on that as what are these players that he's playing. If he thinks like Emerson's not going to be here next season, maybe that's why he's not bringing him on. Maybe he's not playing Soler as much because he might not think he's going to be here next year. Yeah, who knows with a manager?
Well, Soler at like 200 and plus a week.
No, we're not paying that.
He's not going to be He's not going to be a fully paid up member, is he? Let's be fair.
JWP, mate. He's one of them safe. You know what I mean? For a manager, see JWP. He's one of them safe players that if he gets the ball, he's passing it left, right, centre, and mainly backwards. He passes the ball backwards, but he's safe with the ball at his feet. But he gets overrun in the midfield when they're attacking. He's just too slow, and he gets found out. And but he might see him as a safe pair of hands with the ball coming out. I don't know. I'm not over impressed with him starting.
No.
But I
Good
think
evening,
it might
Terence.
suit how he plays.
Yeah.
Hey, Church.
Yeah. Hang on. Where did that go? There it is. Phil says, put Orford on the bench. Give him a few minutes if we are winning comfortably. Another goal for Orford in the 4-2 loss for the under-21s against PSG today. Yeah, I watched that. That was a great finish as well.
They lost it, did they?
Yeah. They were 2-0 up. And
Oh,
then
God.
PSG come back with 4 goals in the second half. Yeah. Agreed, Randy. Why can't we start fast for a change?
I think we will.
Yeah.
Rich, we will this week. We've got fucking... I don't know if we will, but I think you got to hope that we will.
Mark wishes JWP was still at Forest. Milar says, yeah, I know, Randy. Why don't he start with a striker instead of Bowen? He's not a number 9. He's better cutting in from the right. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Never number 9. Doesn't help his game when he plays
it. The other way, he's trying to play to get him in the shop window as well, so that he could be another factor, but we will see. 21 up, Budge. Oh, 2-1 up, Budge. Oh, sorry, yeah, 2-1 up they were, yeah.
Now, Kudos could get a goal. That would be nice if he got a goal this season. He was on about 3, isn't he? I mean, it's not...
Yeah. So in the under-23s or under-21s or whatever, it was 2-1 at half-time. Sorry, it wasn't 2-0. I forgot about them having a goal early-ish. JWP would be better as a target man. What, for the army?
With a target man. Maybe, yeah.
Guilherme would be a player next year, says Cookie. Bringing him through nicely, but us fans get overexcited and want anyone that shows prospect to start and to shine. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's a lot. I've been saying this, Cookie, for a while. We always seem to think that the answer is in the under-21s or on the bench every week. You know what I mean? Oh, that under-21 should play. We don't know if they're ready for that leap. There are 19-year-olds in the Premier League now that are doing really well, and it's hard to say unless you're watching them week in, week out, being at training, you know what their levels are. But it's not always the answer.
Yeah. Hold on. Why is that happening? 1 second, mate. The computer's dying. The computer's dying. Hang on.
Well, I must say, Southampton, to me, it's a must-win. It isn't about scoring 3 or 4 goals. It's about dominating them and taking them to cleaners. And like I said, if Ramsdale pulls off 10 great saves and we win it 1-0, it probably won't be the worst game in the world. It don't have to be lots of goals. What it has to be is a dominating performance, a positive performance, and an attacking performance. That's what West Ham supporters want to see from fucking Potter. And he has to deliver. And this is the perfect game for him to deliver. It can't get any easier. And it just doesn't.
Yeah. Budgie, says Terence, you said we should beat Southampton 3-0 yesterday, mate. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be closer. We win 3-2.
Mate, if it was a great game and it was 3-2 and we were attacking, I mean, I'll take that. But I don't see Southampton scoring 2 goals against us. I don't.
Well, look, when I said yesterday that we should be beating Southampton 3-0, I think we should be.
I think we should.
Whether we will or not is another matter. But
it's not always a simple. I mean, I'm sure Chelsea played Ipswich at the weekend thinking that should be an easy win. And they were 2-0 down. And it ended up being 2-2 Chelsea. It's not always as straightforward as you think.
Yeah, Phil seems to think that Lewis Alford needs a loan deal next year. Maybe Bristol if we can get Earthy back from them.
Okay.
Yeah. Why the hell Potter keeps playing Bowen as a number 9? Yeah, it's kind of.
It doesn't make me last. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Oh,
we don't want that, Cookie. No. I weren't suggesting that.
No.
Look, the boy is a good shot stopper here and there, Ramsdale. But if we were going to sign him, would I think that? Not sure. No.
Listen, for me, if we're going to go for an English goalkeeper, it's got to be Pickford for me. If we're going to go for an English goalkeeper,
I'd rather have Kelleher. If he was available, Kelleher out of Liverpool, I'd take it.
Young Irish boy, yeah. Agreed.
Good luck.
Agreed. But I'm saying, if we were going to go for an English goalkeeper, for me, it would have to be Jordan Pickford. He's the only England goalkeeper.
Everton are never, mate. The reason Everton are still in the Premier League is because of Pickford. Yes, there's no way they're letting him go.
And you know, I love that little terrier about him. He's a bit of a terrier, you know.
Yeah, so do I. He's mad as a box of frogs, geezer. He's fucking mental. Yeah. But I tell you what, he pulls off saves at great moments, and then he makes big fuck ups as well. But he saves you more than he hurts you. He really does. I think last year I think Everton would have been relegated without him.
Yeah, definitely.
He won them so many points from certain saves.
Steve spoke to a Bristol fan at work today, and they love Earthy. I'm not surprised.
Good,
He's a damn good player.
Well, there you go.
We'll be wearing West Ham, Southampton half and half scarves next season. Yeah, they're talking about us looking at 4 of their players if they go when they go down.
Right. Yeah, nah. I'll tell you what I did notice though, Gator. Watching the Liverpool game, there were a lot of people in the crowd wearing half and half scarves, West Ham Liverpool scarves. No, I don't know whether that was anything to do with the minute silence or whatever. But I just noticed it when they panned to the crowd in the Liverpool area. I must have seen at least half a dozen people wearing them, and I thought that was strange. I thought, wow, maybe it's to commemorate that thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mind you, I've seen. Yeah, it's probably because it is the game that commemorates that event.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't think about it before.
But
because I just noticed it. When you're looking into the crowd, I went, wow, that's.
Yeah. I've seen plenty of half and half scarves in London Stadium.
Look, you would. Like if you're dragging in, you'll see them. If you're dragging in tourists, right? To me, I think it's a perfect. If you're only going there for one game to watch a Premier League game, maybe coming over from France or fucking Italy or fucking wherever, just to see a game, and I can understand that as a souvenir. It makes perfect sense. You're not a big fan of either team or whatever. I can see why that would appeal. Like I say, them playing. If West Ham were playing Real Madrid, I'd understand someone buying that scarf as a memento for when we actually played Real Madrid once. I could see that. But any other Premier League team, half and half? No. I'd never want that in my house.
No.
But I could say, when I came over, Geezer, my one game I got to see was the Nottingham Forest game that we won 4-0 or 4-1, whatever it was.
4-1. Yeah.
Now, that half and half scarf for my boy, it was the first time not his first time in England, his second time, first time actually watching West Ham for his first live game. It was great for him. 20 years of age. To actually. That could have been a good memento for him. I don't think he'd ever bought it. But, that would remember his first game ever watching West Ham live. It would make sense.
Yeah, it would, right, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble with the power supply for my laptop, and this could die any minute. So I think we should wrap this up just in case it does, because I can't get back into the studio on my phone. So I won't be able to end the show or fuck all if this computer dies. And 3 times in the last 5 minutes it's telling me my battery's low and it's plugged in and I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to have to get my computer looked at tomorrow now. But we kind of covered mostly everything anyway, haven't we really, mate? Yeah. All right. And so just to go back one more time, earlier on this evening, we had a new member. He hasn't been in the chat since, but Rob, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy your membership, and you'll enjoy a lot of the members-only videos because they're really good. Some of them are really, really good. So thank you for that. Everyone else in the chat, take care as always. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for commenting. Looks like we put Abby to sleep again tonight, Kieran. She hasn't commented in about 5 minutes or so, so she's probably gone to sleep again.
See you later, Billy.
Everyone's saying good night. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining
Cheers,
us.
Rich.
Really, really.
Hey, and if you want to make a comment in the what's name, please do. I think Rich made a comment there last week. You know, we try and reply to it, get round to it. Well, give it a like. We give it a like. Not like you fucking lot.
We always have a look. We always have a look, don't we? Please get your chats in. Oh look! Oh, maybe we haven't put her to sleep. Look, she is still here. Look, sweet dreams, fucker.
Oh yeah, lovely. Good night message.
Another banger. Thank you, usual. Night, Randy. Howard's laughing his head off. Everybody, it's been a pleasure as always. Please make sure to give us a like before you leave if you haven't already. There's 208 of you watching at the moment. I'd like to see at least 100 likes. I'd love that.
Yeah. If not, you're getting it next week.
Neil says the footy's shite, shows are great.
Cheers, Neil.
Brilliant, Neil. Cheers, mate.
That could be pushing it.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, next week we'll be back here talking about a really good, positive win.
Yeah.
Full crew scores, Kudos scores, and Paquetá runs the fucking show. That's what we're talking about next week.
Indeed. And Declan Rice is seen chatting with Sullivan in the audience because they're playing on a different day. And Declan Rice will be at the stadium chatting to the boss about coming back.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, like Rich says, look, come on, you no-like wankers. No fun wankers, a lot of you. Not everyone up the iron says, me last, I'd go for that, Kieran, says Steve. Right, brilliant. Everybody, take care. Love to everybody, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Take care. And
next week, latest people. Have a good week.